Hello everyone, welcome to our second part of webinar with the title Proper Names and Their Function in the Text Coherency Formation and the material of the novels The 12th Chair and The Little Golden Calf by I. Ilf and A. Petrov by Tatyana Valentinovna Milevskaya. I'm Kristin Widyana and it is my pleasure to be a moderator for this webinar today. The program for this good opportunity of webinar is to answer the questions you have posted on the comment section on our previous video. First of all, I would like to say thank you for all of your appreciation on our previous webinar. Thus, we can conduct the second part of it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce you to our speaker today, Ms. Hanim Maghfiroh. Ms. Hanim Maghfiroh is from Sidoarjo. Her main activity is the Student English Language and Literature Program in Department of Letters, State University of Malang. She has graduated from Senior High School 3 Sidoarjo in 2019, and she has started learning English in kindergarten for over 15 years. So let's together welcome Ms. Hanim Maghfiroh.
Thank you, Kristin Widyana. So in this occasion, I'm going to answer all of your questions from the previous seminar. The seminar was discussed about an article entitled Proper Names and Their Functions in the Text Coherency Formation, and the material of the novels The 12 Chairs and The Little Golden Calf by Ayalf and E. Petrov. Next. So here we have 6 questions. The first question comes from Afifah Rosida, and the second question comes from Pandu Damarjati. The third question comes from Nuraini Waningtias. The fourth question comes from Gilang Rizky. The fifth question comes from Enti Pratisia Putri. And the last question, question number 6, comes from Bagus Ramadan. Next. Okay, here is the first question from Afifah Rosida. Her question is, what is toponym? Give some example of toponym from the story. Next. And here is the answer. So toponym is the name of the place. It is derived from a topographical feature based on where the story is made. For example, in the novel The 12 Chairs, the toponyms are the county town, Stargorod, Moscow, Volga, Pyatigorsk, Batum, Georgian Military Road in Tiflis, Yalta. So by seeing from these places, we can see that the story took place in Odessa, Soviet, because the story was published in 1928 and the existence of Soviet was formally last until 1991. Next. Here are 2 questions. These questions are almost same. So the first question comes from Pandu Damarjati. He asks, in the video it said that onyms take part on providing text coherency, and yet throughout the presentation, I still don't get the general idea of how does it works. Could you describe it in a simpler way? And from Nuraini Waningtias, we got a question. According to the material, anthroponyms, toponyms, and ergonyms take part in providing text coherency of the novel The 12 Chairs. Could you please give me examples on how those units take part in providing text coherency? It will be great. It will be great if the examples are from the novel The 12 Chairs. Thank you in advance. Next. So here is the answers for both questions. First, make sure that you both know what onym is. Onym is a suffix that uses to denote a type of name or a word, which have a specified relationship to another words. It comes from the Greek onoma, that means name. So there are many kinds of onyms, but in our presentation, we narrowed onyms only to 3 kinds, that is anthroponyms, toponyms, and ergonyms. Anthroponyms is the name of person. Toponyms is the name of place, and ergonyms is the name of organization or a title that reflects its function. Based on the novel The 12 Years, we can see the examples of anthroponyms in the name of the characters, such as Persitsky, Mechnikov, Gritsatsuyev, which indicates a Russian name. Then we can see the example of toponyms in the name of places such as Moscow, Stargorod, Volga, and so on, which indicates the story took place in Russia, or precisely in Uni-Soviet because the story was written when the Republic of Soviet was still exist. Last, the example of the ergonomics is the House of People, which reflect the function of Moscow. Those onoms are providing text coherency because all of the aspects show the particularity of Soviet. If, for example, the anthroponyms use names such as Paijo or Sipi or Maimunah, and then the toponyms use places such as Busan, Daegu, Seoul, and ergonyms use name the Hindustan country. There will be no coherency in the text at all. We cannot know whom the story is talking about and where the place is taken. So what it means by coherency is the onoms are in line. Next. Next question comes from Gilang Rizky. His question is, it said that there are 6 ways to apply onoms for text coherency. Can you give me at least one example for its function? Thank you. Next. So here's the answer. Summarizing the result of the analysis used for onoms in a novel by Ayalf and E. Petrov, The 12 Years, you can offer their following classification in artistic text depending on the function that they perform when creating a coherent text style. So number 1, onoms that form coherence of the whole text. The names of the main actors, persons. Here are the examples. Ostap Bender, Hippolyte Matveyevich, and Father Fedor. Number 2, ornaments that form spatial but temporal coordinates of the artistic piece. The examples are Stargorod and County Town. Number 3, ornaments who name characters are not interacting mediocrely with the main by the actors who form outside links of a fragment of the text. The examples are Viktor Mikhailovich Polesov and Engineer Bruns. And number 4, onoms that form internal connections of a fragment of text that represent the main new characters of the text fragment. The, the examples are reporter Positsky and Nikifor Lapis Trubetskoy. Number 5, ornaments that create space-temporary background of a fragment of text. The examples are bust poet Zhukovsky, dormitory named after Bertolda Schwartz, Hinaslak Furniture Museum Art, and Mayakovsky. Number 6, optional onoms, not playing significant role in the coherence of the text. The examples are Hontov, Ibragimov, Dolgoruki, Sumarokov, Yusupov, and Salini. Next. And here's the questions from Antipratisia Putri. Her question is, your presentation stated that if the writers wants to explain about something in their literary works, the concept should be obvious and understandable. But what if the writer wants to convey an indirect meaning, such as a metaphor or artistic writing? Next. So the answer is, there is no problem if the writer uses a language device to create an artistic writing. What we mean as the obvious and understandable concepts is about the outline of the story. For example, if the writer wants to explain about a World War III, the concepts need to be obvious. whether she or he wants to explain about its history or the chronology, or maybe the writer wants to write a romance story about someone who comes from a different nationality. So the writer needs to make sure that the readers get the point of what the point within the story. In case of using of metaphors or artistic words, it's free. It is up to the writer how they will develop the story. Next. And I think this is the last question. It comes from Bagus Ramadan. His question is, you say that people have different capability in receiving information and understanding the idea of the text. How can we create an understandable and artistic idea? Next. Here's the answer. In order to create an artistic text, the writer needs to apply proper names and structure the onomastic space. Therefore, I recommend you to read that journal for further explanation if you would like to know. This journal provides unique opportunities to study about their functions, connections, usage, and form of the reader's cognitive when they wander in the aesthetic world, which is represented in the literary text. The most important of text coherence is the ratio between the explicit concepts cited in it with the global connections that shall be built in a single chain. It needs to be obvious, not only for the sender or the author, but also for the recipient text or the reader. Thank you.
Thank you for your excellent answer, Ms. Hanim Maghfiroh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, may I thank you for your participation in this webinar. I hope you enjoyed the program and I look forward for your participation in our future webinar. Goodbye.
Goodbye.